Welcome to Prepare For Takeoff. I'm the creator and host, Terry L. Cyrus. We're the podcast dedicated to amplifying Black excellence. Every week, we sit down with a proven professional or a rising entrepreneur. This week, we're sitting down with Miss Black Virginia, Josselli Pamphile. Josselli, what's going on?
Hi, Terry. How are you?
I'm good, Josselli. First off, please allow me to congratulate you on your pageant victory. I know you have many miles to still travel, and I'm sure you will get to your destination in competing for Miss Black USA. As you know, I'm extremely proud of you, and I want to just kind of give people the opportunity to learn more about your journey. I'm sure you didn't just show up with a crown on your head. There was obviously a journey that led you to that. So I want to give our viewers and listeners the opportunity to hear about your story and unpack your journey. So with that being said, where are you from originally, Josselli?
So I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. After my adolescent years, my family and we moved to Florida. So I started my high school and college in Florida. So I don't know if that makes me, am I still a New York native, or would I still be considered a Floridian?
Well, I think if you spoke to somebody from New York, they may give you a little something, something.
I mean, I feel like I still have the New York accent a little, but then I can see myself as a Floridian in terms of the suburban life. I like a lot of space. I like the clean space and things like that. So I feel like I can claim both New Yorker and Floridian.
I don't really hear the New York accent, but I don't hear the Florida accent either. So I think you're accent neutral.
Okay, I'll take that.
Now, speaking of Florida and having attended college there, where did you go to school?
I went to Florida Atlantic University, which is in South Florida, specifically in Boca Raton. Most people, I don't know if most people know about FAU, but we actually made it to the is it NCAA in 2023, I believe.
Did you guys make it to the Sweet 16?
Yes, actually we did. We did make it to the Sweet, and it actually was to the Final Four. We made it to the Final Four. 2023. At the time when I was attending, it wasn't really a known university, but over the years, it has been pretty popular.
What led to your decision to stay in Florida, in particular Boca Raton? That's a very nice area. And then at some point you transitioned out, but you didn't leave Florida Atlantic University before joining Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So kind of talk us through what led you to attending FAU and also what led you to joining the sorority.
I wanted to go away for college. So when I moved to Florida, I hated it. I was comfortable in New York. And so since I had moved to Florida, I just felt like I wanted to move back. At the time, I felt like I wanted to be a city girl. So after high school, I had my mind set on attending college out of state. I applied to a couple of universities and I got into two or three that I had applied to, but my mom insisted that I stay and I commute. So did not want to commute. I wanted to go away and have some freedom, but I just ended up going to FAU mainly because my mom wanted me to commute. So and then during college, I did pledge Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. That journey was a very fun experience. I was able to learn a lot about myself. I gained some wonderful sisters. I was able to just do so many things. And it also helped me come out of my comfort zone. Growing up, I grew up in a Haitian household and I'm the only girl. I have an older brother. There's a lot of stuff that I wasn't allowed to do. And I was just very more reserved and quiet. But once I had pledged, I was able to, be more sociable, go out and just have fun. That really helped me in that aspect.
Our journey sounds similar. I was determined I was going to leave West Virginia. And I'm writing friends of the family, one of which who was Dr. Cole, the first president of Clark Atlanta University, used to be the president of West Virginia State University. So I'm writing him saying I need a presidential scholarship. I didn't know what that consisted of. He sent me financial aid paperwork. I had to write him again, letting him know my parents aren't going to let me get any kind of financial aid. So safe to say those letters stopped. And once he realized that I didn't have the blessing of my parents to leave. I guess he said, I'm not getting involved in that. And I still was determined. I remember there was a member of my church it shared with me there was a possibility that I could get a scholarship to Central State. When I say I was determined, I was leaving, it wasn't until June that I began to accept the fact that I was going to be going to school literally down the street
Down the
at West
street.
Virginia State University. Once I went there, I just accepted my reality. And similar to you, I pledged. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, as you know. And I did that my second semester of my freshman year.
Wow.
So that definitely lent itself to a more enjoyable college experience as far as I'm concerned, because you had the opportunity to not just have that brotherhood that you inherited courtesy of the fraternity, but you had brothers beyond the campus. You had brothers at West Virginia University. You had brothers out of state in Kentucky, Morehead State University, in Ohio State, Central State. So we were always traveling. Although I didn't get to go to school out of state, I spent a lot of time out of state hanging out with the bruhs.
Okay.
And that kind of gave me the opportunity to have that away from home experience. But the next day after graduation, I was out of there.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I think for me, I didn't have that opportunity throughout my college undergrad years to really like travel out of state. But however, when I ended up going to graduate school to pursue my pharmacy degree, that was really when I had a lot more freedom to just go out and do stuff on my own. So I felt like once I left Florida and I came to the DMV area, I felt like this was like my freedom. This was my opportunity to, enjoy my 20s.
So you was able to discover who you were as an adult, and more importantly, you was able to expand that sisterhood in the
Yeah,
DMV, because there's
exactly.
a huge number of members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated in the DMV, and you didn't just go to school in DC. You went to pharmacy school at the Mecca, Howard University, correct?
I did. Yes. I ended up attending Howard University to pursue my doctorate of pharmacy. It's a 4-year degree and I loved it. I was able to gain so many friends. To this day, I still keep a good relationship with them. We've gone through so much during pharmacy school and we still keep in connection along with some professors that I also keep in touch with. So I think everything happens for a reason. Like, even though as much as I wanted to go away out of state for undergrad, I have no regrets. Then that pretty much helped me move to the DMV. And I just really had a good experience, a very good experience throughout my college years and even throughout my graduate year. And so ever since then, I love the DMV so much. I ended up staying. I ended up getting a job right after pharmacy school and ended up working at a reputable hospital and just pretty much growing as a pharmacist. So I definitely would say that I have no regrets at all.
So what led you to the field of pharmacy? Was that something that you always wanted to do, or was it something that you discovered during your undergrad experience?
Actually, I wanted to pursue a degree in medicine. I don't know, as at a very young age, I wanted to be a pediatrician. So I had my mindset, I'm gonna be a doctor. So once I attended college, I majored in biology, in pre-med/biology. I think around my sophomore junior year, I started to attend like the actual core classes that I needed to pursue my degree. I just was not, I don't know, I just had a change of heart after taking organic chemistry and a couple other core prerequisites. I just had a change of heart, but I knew I wanted to be in the field of health, right? I didn't want to be a nurse, and I just decided that I didn't want to do medicine. And so I started doing research. I looked into chiropractor. I looked into occupational therapy, physical therapy. I even volunteered at a chiropractor's office to see if this was really what I wanted to do. And then I just started doing research about what field that would suit me. And so I stumbled upon pharmacy, started doing research, and after research, I just I just kind of like decided, like, I was talking to my mom about it, and she was like, you know what, if this is something that you think you want to do, go ahead and apply. So I studied for the PCAT, which is a prep course that you have to take before you apply to pharmacy school. So I did that. I did well. And then I started applying to different pharmacy schools.
What was the adjustment like going from FAU to Howard University School of Pharmacy?
I felt like it was a big adjustment. Oh, attending FAU, it's a great school, but many times in my class, I was the only Black girl. And it just sort of became the norm for me. But then when I attended Howard University, I really felt like I was at home. And when you're in Florida, we used to hear about like the homecomings and, people traveling out of state to just go to Howard homecoming. So to actually be a part of that and attend, it was like a dream come true for me because, we know that Howard is a legacy school. It's so many smart, intelligent, scholars have graduated from Howard University. Just to be part of that, I was just, so excited to attend.
Yeah, it's truly the Mecca. And just having attended an HBCU, it was a smaller HBCU. And my HBCU has a very dubious distinction, if you will. Like during the day, you would think you were at FAU. But in the evening, you would say, okay, I'm in an HBCU because they've turned it into a commuter school.
Okay.
So many of the people in the area, they are presented with the option of spending a lot of money to attend University of Charleston,
Oh,
which is a private university and probably one of the most expensive universities in the state, or they can attend West Virginia State University. And at the time, it was extremely affordable.
mm,
And they may not be involved in any of the social dynamics on campus. They're literally going to school as early as possible. And by the time the sun goes down, everybody's off campus. And now the people who are residents of the campus, be it the out-of-state students, be it the students, most of them look like you and I. Oh, but if you come there during the daytime, you can be like, somebody didn't lie to me because I'm at FAU. It ain't but 5 brothers in the class. I'm like, yo, this way. Wait till after dinner. And when we on the yard, you're going to see a whole different thing.
yeah.
And then speaking of homecoming, it is definitely the embodiment of an HBCU homecoming. You're going to see us at a 9-to-10 ratio. You're
Yeah.
going to see the bros, you're going to see the sorors, the Delta Sigma Theta, you're going to see AKAs. Everybody in the D9 is well represented. Similar to your mother, my parents, they wanted me to stay they wanted me to stay nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that they had me make that decision because the debt that a lot of my friends found themselves in, I didn't have any of that debt. Because when I say affordable, like my dad was literally able to just write a check every semester.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I was responsible for the books, but everybody used to sell their books refurbished. I would find somebody smart like you and say, let me buy your books. Why? Because not only are they cheaper than the bookstore, but you highlighted all of the sections
Yeah.
that were important. And now I could basically study through Cliff Notes.
Yeah. That's so true. No, that's one thing that I am grateful for because a lot of the students at pharmacy school did have a lot of undergrad student loans. I'm very grateful that I didn't have to pay out of state tuition because I did have to take out loans for pharmacy school. And so I'm very grateful that I didn't have to pay for my loans for undergrad. So I could relate to that.
Were you the first person to have the title doctor, or were you joining other family members that preceded you?
I believe I am the only person that has a pharmacist degree. And, my brother attended college and most of my cousins also attended and graduated from college as well. But no, my family, they were proud because, in the Haitian household, it's either you're a doctor or a lawyer or engineer. Anything else, they don't really care about. So me having that doctorate of pharmacy, oh my gosh, my mom was proud, my dad was proud, my grandmother, my brother, all of my family was very proud for me to get that degree. I was proud of myself. It was a lot of hard work and a lot of late nights studying. But yeah, one of my biggest achievements.
You said you transitioned at a reputable hospital in Washington, D.C. Now, I don't know if you want to shout out that reputable hospital. I am familiar with that reputable hospital in which you were employed, and reputable is an understatement. Do you
Yeah.
care to share with our
Yeah.
viewers and listeners where that was?
Yeah, so I currently work at Georgetown University Hospital. It's a great hospital to work for. That's currently where I'm working at as a clinical pharmacist.
Right, because see, I know you're real humble with it, but I'm gonna make certain that you get all your shine. And I want everybody to know you're just not at the community hospital, you know.
Thank you, Tay. I appreciate
And then I also know you spent some time in New York
I
briefly,
did.
and you were
Yes.
also at another reputable hospital, to say the least. So you
Yes.
care to talk us through like what your experience in New York was, coming back to your roots, being a semi-native New Yorker. Like, what was that like returning to the Big Apple?
I just felt like New York was calling me back home. I kind of missed the city life, and my dad lives in the Brooklyn area, so I kind of convinced myself this is an opportunity for me to just spend time with my dad and also explore the other opportunities that, the field of pharmacy has to offer. So I did end up working at and got a really good position at New York Presbyterian Columbia University Hospital, which I have, made a lot of good friends. And so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the city life because Columbia University Hospital is right in Washington Heights. And then over time, I just felt like I wanna move back to the DMV. I like a lot of space, so I wanted to purchase some property. And so yeah, so Georgetown was able to take me back, and yeah, so yeah, I just felt like I never left. I love the DC area. I love just everything that DC has to offer. So I'm currently back here in Alexandria, Virginia right now, and I'm glad. I couldn't be more happier. The only thing I miss is just not spending as much time with my dad as I did when I was living in New York.
Talk us through what led to you running for Miss Black Virginia.
Actually, it just so happened I was on my Instagram, and I was just pretty much looking at different people's stories, and it happened to be on my Instagram feed. And I was just like, it sparked my interest, but I didn't really think anything of it. I was just like, what are the chances of me, winning a crown for Miss Virginia? And so I saw it a couple times on the Instagram, and I don't know, I just kind of was like, let me sleep on it, because I was thinking I'm going to need a sign from God or something, because I'm like, at this point in my life, what do I look like applying for a pageant? I'm gonna be honest, right? And so I was just like, I slept on it, and I just felt in my spirit to go ahead and do it. And so I went ahead and applied. And I was just like, you know what? I'm at a season in my life where if not me, then who? I was like, I'm gonna apply. If they call me, great. If they don't call me, it's okay. So I ended up applying, and shortly after, I got an email from one of the assistant pageant directors that they wanted to do an interview with me. And I was just like, okay. And again, I was just like, I wasn't really thinking anything of it. I wasn't really nervous about it, because I really felt like it was in my spirit and God wanted me to just go ahead and join. So I
Mm-hmm.
ended up doing the interview with the assistant director, and her energy was just really fun, and I just felt like this is something that I could actually see myself doing. And so she told me a little bit about Miss Black USA and what I would be doing, and I was just like, at first I was nervous, and then she was like, no, you'll be fine. She started talking to me about just the different competitions that I would be partaking in, and I was just like, okay. The minute she told me that she would, once I found out that I was in, I hired a pageant coach to learn the walk and my interview and things like that. And I just was like, I'm gonna go ahead and give it my all. So I really was putting my effort to just do my best. And so I have to be honest, I was a bit nervous, because I'm like, this is my first pageant. I never did any modeling. I never did any pageant when I was younger. So I'm like, how am I going to, get through this? But I had a great pageant coach that I was working with at the time that helped me on my interview skills, helped me on my walk. And yeah, so I ended up winning the crown. So I'm definitely grateful that I joined. And I really feel like this is a testament where, like, if you feel like this is God is telling you to do something, if this is in your spirit, just go for it.
I totally agree, because I feel as though God put something on our spirit, and then the enemy, he robs us of that through fear and doubt. I'm gonna keep it real with you. When I first seen it, I was like, wait a minute, maybe Josselli is showing me one of her friends won the crown, because I know her personality. She's reserved, reluctant to move in the direction of the spotlight. So I'm like, wait a minute. That looks like Josie. I was like, go to her personal page. I'm like, oh my goodness. And that was a testament of all the things you said. It's never too late. If not me, then who?
Yeah.
I was able to draw inspiration from it.
Thank you.
Because in order to be extraordinary, you have to put yourself in a position to achieve things that people don't anticipate you achieving.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter what season you're in your life, it's never too late. I mean, you don't look a day over 25 anyway.
Aw, thank you, Terry. I'll pay you later. No,
So
thank you. I
now
appreciate
listen,
that. I really appreciate that. I felt like one of the main things that I think what drew me um into joining was I felt like this would be a good platform. Like, I think Miss Black USA is a great platform for me to allow me to bring more awareness to things that I'm passionate about. My platform is sickle cell anemia, and I want to shed more light about it. Sickle cell anemia is a disease that is disproportionate. Affects our community more than any other race. And I also want to uplift young girls and just empower young women, young girls, and just be a positive influence. I really felt like, this would be a good opportunity for me to shed some light on things that I'm passionate about. I mean, yes, it's fun to dress up and put on makeup, but I'm a big believer of just, giving back to the community. It's in my spirit to just, give back. And so I want to be able to just be a positive influence on young girls. Like last month, I attended this all girls day conference in Chesapeake, Virginia. And it allowed me to really see like these young girls' faces. Like they were like so, I don't know what the word is. They were just so excited to see a Black girl wearing a crown. And when they see someone that looks like them, that can inspire them. That can inspire them to go after their dreams. That can inspire them to be that doctor, the lawyer, the president, or beauty queen. So I really, at that point, I was just like, wow, I really feel like I can make a difference in someone's life. And so I think that's really what really puts a smile on my face.
I'm sure that there's more miles to go in your pageant journey, and you're not just walking, you're running, you're doing the work in the community, you're serving others. And what's the next step in your pageant journey as it pertains to competing for Miss Black USA?
Our nationals is coming up in August of this year. So I am prepping for that. It's a lot of money that's going into it and a lot of work. But again, this is what I wanted to do. I want to bring light to the things I'm passionate about. And so I've just been prepping, trying to finesse my talent. I'm trying to, finesse my walk and just hone up on a lot of leadership skills and do more community service. I met with the mayor of Alexandria. She's the first Black female mayor of Alexandria. We talked a little bit about the community service initiatives that she's doing, which is aligned with what I'm doing as well. So I'm looking forward to working with her and just other community service initiatives that I want to be a part of. Again, this is really more about me being a positive light and shedding more light on this wonderful organization, Miss Black USA.
Where is the Miss Black USA competition? Where is that going to be taking place?
So it's going to be at UDC, the University of District of Columbia in Washington, D.C. on the first weekend of August. So I'm really excited about that. I'm a bit nervous, but I just have faith. Put God first. The things that I can control, I'll control, and everything else, I'll leave it up to God.
Victory is already yours because you did something that I'm sure took you out of your comfort zone, and you're able to touch people in a way that you otherwise wouldn't be able to touch them. You was able to accomplish something that many people haven't even had the nerve to put themselves in a position to win because they're so consumed by the possibility of failure. Sometimes we can allow the weight of grief and loss to hold us back and get us in a place that doesn't serve us well, that moves us away from the light that God has for us and what God has, more importantly, in the light, waiting for us to be the recipient of. So with that being said, like, how did you navigate if any point in time you found yourself dealing with grief and loss?
There was a point in my life where I was dealing with a huge loss in my life. And at that point, I just, just like anyone who's ever dealt with, the loss of a loved one, you can really go down a spiral, and pretty much it could lead to destruction or something else. And so there was a time where I just was in a really dark place. And I just, at that point, I felt like I needed to build my relationship with the Lord. And that's really what helped me get out of that dark place. And also during that time, I just pretty much built my relationship with God. I started reading the Bible more and just really having a sense of being able to live again. So having gone through that experience, and now that I'm just living one of my dreams as a pageant beauty queen, it just shows that no matter what, if you put God first and you just have that strong relationship with Him and just let God be in control. I never would have thought 10 years ago I would be talking to you about me being Miss Black Virginia. And I have only God to thank for that, honestly. It's anybody who's going through a period dealing with grief, just know that just leave everything up to God. One of my favorite scriptures is Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. It's I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That was one of the scriptures that I pretty much held on to, and I still do. I'm a believer, as you can tell, and without my faith, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I definitely want to, if there's anybody that is dealing with that at this point in time, just know that just lean on Christ and He will guide you.
You just quoted my dad's favorite Bible scripture. And to let you know to what extent is his favorite Bible scripture, he has that on the back of his license plate.
Oh, wow.
And he's always quoting that to me and to other members of the family. So I know how important it is to lean on God. And we've all been through something, whether it's grief and loss, whether it's financial, whether it's loss of a job, whatever it is, we have to always find ourselves in a position to be willing to let go and let God. Some things are too big for us. We have to release that. We have to give it to God and then just have faith that God will see us through it. And chances are, when we have that faith, it's pleasing to God in such a way, the reward that He bestows on us is far beyond what we can imagine. And you're a testament of that because, as you mentioned, who would have thought that you would meet Miss Black Virginia with a crown on your head? And I'm certain that all of those loved ones that you may have lost, they are shining in heaven saying, look at our daughter, look at our grandchild, look at our loved one. She is representing us in such a way. We're all proud and we're rejoicing in heaven.
Thank you, Terry. I really appreciate that.
So as we close out, I want to give you the opportunity to leave our viewers and listeners with 3 things that you feel will help them prepare for takeoff.
Yeah, that's a good question. One of the things I would say is self-discipline and consistency. is definitely something that I would advise. Building strong habits, and just in anything that you want to do, it's so important to really be consistent and write down your plan, write down your timeline, and just hold yourself accountable. Another thing I would say is age is just a number. Don't let where you are in life or your age stop you from doing whatever you want to do. Follow your dreams. I would never have thought 10 years ago that I would be Miss Black Virginia USA. And so I would definitely say just go after your dreams no matter what chapter you are in your life. And then the last thing I would say is just put God first, have faith. And that was one of the things that really led me to joining was I just had that, inner voice that was telling me, Josselli, go ahead and do this. And so definitely put God first in everything that you do, no matter what, and He will guide you throughout the rest.
Those were great words of wisdom. I couldn't agree more. And I'm sure that our viewers and listeners, they're going to want to see more of you and hear more about your incredible journey. So how can they follow you on social media? Is there a website they can go to, or how can they tap in with you?
So my social handle, Instagram handle, is Miss Black Virginia USA. So you can follow me on Instagram, Miss Black Virginia USA. I'm currently working on a Facebook page. So once I get that up and running, you can pretty much just Google my name and, follow me on Facebook and on Instagram.
So you're heavy on the gram, and their best destination to find you is on the gram.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm extremely proud of you.
Thank
And to see this person that I know with a crown on her head representing an entire state as it pertains to the sisters in the DMV that look step back, because the biggest state in the DMV, I'm the queen.
Thank you, Terry. I really appreciate you having me on your podcast. I'm just looking forward to this journey and just making a positive difference in young girls' lives. Thank you.
Absolutely. And speaking of thank yous, I just wanted to thank all of our viewers and listeners, whether you're watching us on Spotify or YouTube, or you're listening on Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, or Pandora. As you know, every week we're going to continue to bring you proven professionals or rising entrepreneurs. And all of these conversations, just like this one, will help you prepare for takeoff. Josselli, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Terry. Bye.